Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas or whatever other holiday you celebrate. I hope it was good. Hope you was able to spend some time with friends and family and enjoy it and enjoy the new year. Back here with another update on the Challenger. I did decide to make the decision to do this one a little bit more low-key on or a little less extravagant with some of the painted out details. Trying to stick more to a in-service Union Pacific look for this locomotive, even though it is a Rio Grande. I've talked about my kind of story plan for this, with it being a Heritage Fallen Flags steam locomotive. Clearly fantasy in my timeline, so nothing realistic, but wanted to kind of make it just kind of fit in more with the 3985 you see sitting there. So that's what I ended up doing. So far I've made some really good progress, got a lot of the pain in the ass stuff out of the way, like painting the wheels. You guys can see I got the pilot truck wheels painted with the silver centers on those. As far as the drivers go, just well, that's not focusing, there we go. Just some black paint on the outer rims of the tires there. You guys can see here how they look unpainted. The trailing truck wheels have been painted, and also you'll see this. So this is the boiler from the 3804, and this locomotive is not done. It is not complete. I merely just mocked everything together. You know, it is free rolling. I do have enough parts to power this up. I'm not sure if I will though, because I don't know, it's going to be kind of an oddball. If anything, it's going to be more of just a very fantasy thing, even more fantasy than some of the modern day running stuff that I have here. But I do have a now coal-fired version of 3985. I have a lot of work to do to this yet. A lot of doing the whites on all the tires and all that, and just a few other things that need to be done, but I need to figure out if I want it powered, if I want it unpowered. Not too worried about it right now. This is merely just to have it mocked up, make sure I have all the parts for the locomotive on there. So that's what we have lined up right there. But big thing is we're making some good progress on this. This locomotive is ready to go back together. All the details have pretty much been taken care of. We have our dual dynamo on there for a little bit more modern look. The big thing with this cab on this locomotive is it's different from the Union Pacific locomotives, is it has a open cab. So no rear doors. If you guys know some of these UP locomotives, they have the dual doors on those cabs. So it'll look a little different. I am kind of thinking about doing a decorated boiler on this one, or one of the decorated boiler backheads on this one. Let's see if I have my parts here, which parts they would be in. So you guys can see I have one left here. I think I put one in this one. I'll have to make sure, because I had two left. We're definitely going to have one in the kind of fantasy museum version of 3985. But I think with this being a more open cab, I was just going to use one of the black ones, but I do have one more of these nice painted up versions. So I'll probably wind up using that in there. Other than that, it's just basically some final assembly. I really don't have much left in my little parts caddy here. If I can get that open. All I got left is the number boards. Those are going to go on once I kind of get the top part of the boiler more finalized. We have some of the piping covers, some of my little wire caps, the snaps for the tops of the gear towers on the front and rear drive sections, and then the worm gears, and then the shafts from the little connecting shafts from the motor. Get the motor put in, and then just some screws left. Not many parts left in there, which is really nice because that means I'm really close to the end of this project, and we'll have a nice running sound DCC locomotive. And it'll be cool because it'll be a real Grande locomotive, so kind of gives me a little bit more play on my fantasy timeline there. So I cannot wait to see it with my my UP Rio Grande Heritage unit, the SD70 ACE. I think those are going to look really cool together. So I'll make sure to at least sit those two by each other on here at some point so that you guys can check it out. But now my next steps are to get the lower section of the weight placed into the bottom section of the boiler here. That entails a couple different things here. There's a couple spots where screws right there and right there screw into spots under the boiler here, and then something else that's kind of a pain in the ass is this little slot right at the front here. That's where the exhaust tube goes, and there's a little clip that slips into that. I decided to put it into the engine frame first, just because there's not really there's two ways you can do it. You can either hook it up in there first, or you can have it hooked up in here first. It works both ways. I just feel like putting it on the engine frame itself first makes it a little bit easier. Yes, once this is in place here, there's not a lot of room to sneak the clip in under here, but there is room, period, so not the end of the world. I do not run smoke units. This locomotive does have the ports for a smoke unit, and of course I have all the smoke unit stuff. I personally do not run smoke units in any of my locomotives. They're kind of messy. If they run dry, they can be ruined. If you get too much of the solution that sits on the shell itself, it can start to cause issues with the paint. So I just prefer not to use smoke units at all. So some of these units that I do completely redo and rebuild, I have removed those components completely, so they're not even causing any type of an issue at all. Some people, I have nothing against other people having them. It's just me personally, I prefer not to have them. If you want to run them, you go right ahead. I do think they look awesome when they chuff and everything, but other than that, just me personally, I like to keep my units fairly clean and keep all that residue from causing issues. But you guys can see I do have the front and rear engines together. You guys can see just how nice and shiny all those rods are. I think they look fantastic. Everything looks really nice. I do have a little bit of paint detail work to do on these, on the oilers. The little, see if I can set that. Use my tweezers here. These little tickers right here on the oilers, I like to paint those red because that's how they are on the real locomotives. You guys can see they are painted out on my 3985. I'm probably going to do that before I get these assembled on here, because it's just going to become harder as I put things together. Right now I can handle these easy and I can paint them easy. So that'll be my next step. Something else I took care of while everything is out and accessible is blackening the wires in the visible areas. Some of these I've done that with and some I haven't, so some of this stuff I have to go back and redo that on. But you know, you have a positive and a negative. Positive's red, negative's black. The blacks don't really bother your your sight, but the red ones definitely stand out if they are not painted out. And you don't have to paint the whole wire. Basically just an inch above where they come out of the frame is more than enough once it's all brought up through the frame and everything. So we got that taken care of. That's pretty much it. The tender is done, since I didn't decide to do the white tires on any of the wheels on this. I had already put painted wheels on this tender, so the tender is completely done. You guys saw that in previous episodes. We have some painted out details on there. The silver bearing caps. We have the modern day hookups on the back. Nice red marker lights. And you guys can see the painted wheels there. Everything's cleaned, ready to go. This has, of course, a new board in it with speakers, so this is all ready for DCC and sound and DC use. So that's all nice brand new factory parts in there that came out of some other locomotive that I tore apart a long time ago. And that's why I save everything. You guys can see I have a lot of organizers with a lot of electrical components, mechanical components, details, stuff like that. Anything I tear apart, I like to save because you never know what you want to do in the future. And this is a key thing right here. I had everything to completely rebuild this whole locomotive from the ground up with all new parts, so I'm really excited about that. This will be a fantastic runner. It'll look great running with 3985. It'll look great running with other locomotives, a big boy, the Heritage unit that I want to run it with. So this will be a really nice addition to the collection, and be a real unique locomotive as far as like my storyline goes. It makes it something really unique. I think the next time you guys see this, it should be all back together. Really not too much more. Like I said, just a couple little paint things here and there, and assemble everything. So that's pretty much it for this update, guys. If you have noticed in the background, there is some non-Union Pacific stuff going on back there. Not going to talk too much about that. Expect to see those coming up, though, once I kind of work on some of this get some of this UP stuff done. We'll talk more about what you guys are seeing in the far backgrounds back there. So, but yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you had a good holidays and Happy New Year. And until next time, take care.